Imagine receiving a message demanding your surrender, your kingdom surrounded, your faith mocked, your crown called illegitimate. Now imagine sending one word back. No. Now imagine winning. That is where this story begins. Her name was Tamar. She ruled the kingdom of Georgia from 1184 to 1213. She never lost a war, and almost nobody in the Western world knows who she is. The 12th century was not a gentle time to be a ruler. The Crusades were tearing the Middle East apart. The Byzantine Empire, once the most powerful Christian state on earth, was rotting from the inside. The Seljuk Turks had consumed half of Anatolia. Every border was a negotiation conducted in blood. And Georgia's small Christian, wedged between the Black Sea and the Caspian, sat at the exact center of all of it. Every empire that ever existed wanted this land. It was the hinge between Europe and Asia, the corridor between civilizations. Tamar's father, King George III, had spent his reign building Georgia into something real, something capable. But when he looked around for an heir, someone to hold what he had built, the logic of his era told him he had a problem. He had no son. In the 12th century, that was not just a personal disappointment. It was an open invitation. So George did something almost no king in history had done before him. He crowned his daughter, not after his death, while he was still alive, while he could still protect her. She was around 20 years old. When George III died in 1184, the Georgian nobility moved almost immediately. They convened, they debated, and they arrived at what they believed was a very reasonable arrangement. Tamar could keep the title of queen. The real power would belong to them. They selected a husband for her, a powerful Rus prince named Yuri, a military man with a famous name and a very clear idea of what his role in Georgia would be. He was wrong. For 6 years, Tamar ruled. She sat in councils. She made decisions. She built relationships with the church, with commanders, with the people. Yuri drank. Yuri made enemies. Yuri assumed. In 1187, Tamar had him expelled from the kingdom. The nobles erupted. Yuri raised 2 armed rebellions to take back what he believed was his. Tamar crushed both of them. She then chose her own second husband, a Georgian prince named David Solon, a man she appears to have genuinely respected. David was a brilliant field commander, but every decision about who to fight, when to fight, and what terms to accept that came from Tamar. Now the story shifts, because this is where Tamar stops surviving and starts building. The Battle of Shamkor. Georgian forces crushed the army of the Oghuzid Sultanate, a major regional power, defeated in open field. Georgia's borders pushed outward. The Battle of Beysiane, the Sultan of Rumwan, of the most dangerous rulers in the region, invaded with an enormous force. He sent Tamar an ultimatum before the battle: convert to Islam or be destroyed. Tamar spent the night before battle in prayer. She sent her armies into the field the following morning. She won. By the time her campaigns were finished, Georgia stretched from the Black Sea to the Caspian Sea. It was the dominant Christian kingdom in the entire region, larger, wealthier, and more powerful than anything the Crusaders had managed to hold. But here is what separates Tamar from the history she competed against. She did not just conquer, she created. The period of her reign is known, without exaggeration, as the Georgian Golden Age. Churches were built across the Caucasus. Manuscripts were illuminated. Scholars and poets filled her court. Armenians, Greeks, Persians, and Jews lived and worked freely in her kingdom. Commerce expanded. Culture flourished. The greatest work of Georgian literature, The Knight in the Panther's Skin, an epic poem of honor and sacrifice, was written during her reign. Some historians believe it was written in her honor. Her court became one of the most remarkable places in the 12th century world, and the world barely remembers it. Tamar died in 1213, nearly 30 years after they told her she was not supposed to rule. The Georgian Orthodox Church canonized her, Saint Tamar, not as a martyr, not as a woman who withdrew from the world and found holiness in silence, as a ruler, as a queen who governed, who divorced, who commanded armies, who built a golden age, and was still considered holy for it. Think about what it takes to be remembered as a saint. In a tradition that did not expect women to wield power for wielding it justly. Think about what it takes to win every war that comes your way, in an era when no one believed you should be fighting them. Think about what it takes to build something beautiful in the middle of a world that is burning. Her name was Tamar. She ruled Georgia. She never lost. And for 800 years, most of the world simply never heard of her. Until now. Please, if you find this story interesting, please subscribe.